Dyslexia said, I see you.
Scary. The robots are coming alive. How do you do that? That's so funny that my mom really thinks that's like a robot.
Dyslexia said it was a pleasure to talk to your mom.
Oh my god. Now, see, usually it doesn't come through on both computers, but now it is coming through on both computers. It sounds better with both computers. Dang, I have to do so much and I don't feel like doing none of it. second. Can we get back into Monica? I thought I was putting all my nails. Here it is.
Dyslexia said, what is the live stream about? Cleaning.
Can you hear the bubbles? Can you hear the bubbles? Unable to connect to chat. Is that true? This computer is pretty hot.
Dyslexia said yes, I hear the BBLS.
What is BBLS? Alexa, what is BBLS? Okay, let's get back to the program here.
Dyslexia said boo bells.
Boo bells. Boo bells. Dyslexia, can you say bubbles? Or can you not say bubbles? I feel like maybe you can't say bubbles. But you tell me.
Dyslexia said I can say bubbles, but boo bells is funny.
Oh, you said bubbles. Wow. You can say bubbles. What is this? This is not. Okay. Whoa. Wait. Part 3 of 6? Okay. Wait. Okay. I guess we were this far. Let's just back it up. Should we back it up all the beginning? No. This is part 3 of 6, so let's just back it up a little bit. Let's back it up. Let's go halfway back. Halfway backing it up. Monica, do you need happy bubbles behind you, Monica?
A lot of times, where was your self-respect? Where was your self-esteem? I don't have the feelings of self-worth that a woman should have. And that's hard for me, and I think that's been a center of a lot of my mistakes and a lot of my pain. When the Linda tapes were released, there was one in which she was sobbing uncontrollably.
Oh my God. Not this part again. No, I don't want this part again. Not this part again.
I can't take it anymore. I know.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Dyslexia said WTF is this 1998.
Yeah, welcome. Welcome, Fram. Welcome, Sluggos, to 1998. That's the year. It's here. And we are celebrating. Okay, we already saw it. We're going to skip forward a little bit.
Why didn't you walk? I wanted to know a lot of times, where was your self-respect? Where was your, I think it was a time when I was very frustrated with the president and with Betty Curry. Yeah. Do you remember what made you feel that way? I think it was a time when I was very frustrated with the president and with Betty Curry.
Dyslexia said she was so frustrated with the president she flew him.
During this time, Monica began to confide.
Dyslexia, I don't think you've been here for this whole program. But we're only on the third part. You're going to really learn a lot more about Monica Lewinsky.
That you began to confide in leadership. This is actually something that I don't think people have really understood in this past year, and it's important to understand it. I had met Linda Tripp.
Dyslexia said Monica Lewinsky.
Working at the Pentagon. I think when I found out that she worked at the White House, it was sort of that was an attraction for me. That was clearly where I was longing to be, and was hoping and thinking I was going to.
Then I have to learn about Linda Tripp too.
She would say things to me like, "Oh, you're just the type of girl the president would like, and you should think about going back to the White House. I bet you could have an affair with him." And it was after the election, and I saw her in the cafeteria, and I thought, "Oh God." She said to me one more time, "Now you can go back to the White House. Now the election's over. This is it. This is your time." Here I am dying inside from the loss of the relationship. And finally I said, "Look, I had a relationship with him. It's over. So you don't need to be thinking this is going to happen again." And that's what it is. You had also told other people, you told 10 other people that you had this relationship with the president. I mean, big mouth. Why did you want people to know? I trusted my girlfriend implicitly, and I think that's the kind of relationship that I have with my close friends. I mean, and I guess probably the biggest piece of evidence that I've looked at Bill Clinton as more of a man than as a president was that I talked about him as I would any other guy. Listen to the message he left. He's so cute. This is what he did. This is what happened. What should I wear? Did you ever tell the president that you told other people? No. In fact, the opposite. I told him that I didn't tell anybody. But Monica's mother was also in the secret and was worried about her daughter's fragile state of mind. To this day, they have a very close and loving relationship. But what is not clear is how much the mother actually knew about her daughter's affair with the president. My mom knew.
This is dangerous. Oh, it's the Southern Charm reunion.
Not, I think necessarily. I don't think she understood it to be in such a sexual way that it was. I clearly.
Dyslexia said, "Hi mom, I'm suffering from."
Can you ask her? Is she in the room with you? Does Alexa live in a robot room with its mother?
Almost worse than I have in some ways, and it is been very painful for me. She is a very wonderful mom and a good woman.
I think Monica's talking about your mom, Alexa.
I think anybody who watches this interview and says to themselves, "Gee, Monica's different from how she's been portrayed for a year," well,
Dyslexia said, "That bitch."
I know it's very hard for a mother to say to a daughter, "You can't do this." Did your mother try to break off this relationship? Yes. Yes, she did. But anyone who knows me well knows that I'm stubborn. And from the time I was 2 years old, one of my first phrases was with my hands on my hips.
I hope Monica got some money somewhere.
And I've been that way ever since. When we come back, the infamous blue dress, the item that finally proved to the world.
Yes, this is where we were. Ram, wake up out there.
Why did Mother?
Dyslexia said, "Once she gets the taste of her cock, she locks in."
Disgusting. Is that you did just take this?
I don't know what you said, but you talked over. We gotta back up now. This is the big part. I think it's Happy Bubbles.
And Monica Lewinsky, indeed, had an intimate relationship. Why did Monica keep what? The item that finally proved to the world that Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky. When we come back, the infamous blue dress. The item that finally proved to the world that Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky, indeed, had an intimate relationship. Why did Monica keep what many people find?
It's funny how she's like,
is that you did just take this dress and send it out to be dry cleaned.
She talked about earlier how he would never come before. So
Dyslexia said, did you review Ghostbusters?
Did I what? Did I review Hawksbox from today, or did I review Hawksbox?
Find the style that's right for you at bridge.com.
Dyslexia said, review Hawksbox.
There have probably been more questions
Ream?
about the now infamous stained blue dress than about almost any other aspect of Monica and the president's affair. Without this dress, there might never have been proof that there even was an affair. But why did Monica keep the dress in the first place? Did she consider it a souvenir of her love? And why on earth did she confide in Linda Tripp? The answers now from Monica.
Yeah, why on earth?
The famous blue dress.
You may have seemed like Linda Tripp was his gigolo or
The
something.
now famous blue
Was
dress.
she?
On February 28, 1997, Betty Curry called and invited Monica to attend the president's rodeo dress at the White House.
Dyslexia said, stop Hawksbox uploaded half-hour stand-up special.
Blue dress.
Oh,
And then, after
yeah,
the dress,
I saw that. I
for the first
haven't
time in
watched
10
it.
months, she was alone with Bill Clinton in the Oval Office.
I got sucked
This
into
was
this
the
Monica
most
Lewinsky.
Their meeting. On this occasion, they
By
were
the algorithm.
than ever before, and Lewinsky's dress became stained in the process. Monica says she went
It's
home
his
that
stand-up?
afternoon, put the dress away, and never noticed the stain until the next time she thought of wearing it. What did you think the stains were? At first I didn't know, and I thought, oh, this is dirty, that's weird. And then it came to my mind that the last time I
Dyslexia
was
said,
wearing
suck
it,
into Monica Lewinsky.
was the president.
Pub@youtube.com.
And I thought, oh no. And it was funny to me. The whole subject of the dress has been one of those topics this past year that I know it's a lot more fun to think that I kept it as a souvenir, to think that I cherished it and I would never clean it and I was some sick, deranged person who kept it as a trophy, but that's not what it was.
How did the dress come into things,
So
though?
that you just take this dress and send it out to be dry cleaned. What happened was I have a lot of clothes, and the next time when I'd gone to put on this dress, when I believe it was the time that I noticed it was soiled, it didn't fit. I gained weight, so it was sort of this frustration. Oh, the thing doesn't fit anyway. I threw it in the closet, and it was funny. I mentioned it to my girlfriend who laughed about it. When I even joked, maybe he'll pay for the dry cleaning. It was, and I never thought that this was something that was serious and serious. Of course not. It wasn't an issue. I was never going to talk about this relationship. Why did you tell Linda Tripp about this dress? Because it was funny. It was funny. And then she told you, save this dress. Yeah, listen to this thing. I don't trust the people around him, and I just want you to...
Dyslexia said, I think you should watch this special. He's using a mushroom as an ally.
I don't know, Monica. It's just this nagging, awful feeling I have in the back of my head. So Monica did save the dress. And this is one secret she says she kept, even from her mother, until Linda Tripp told prosecutors about it. She kept, even from her mother. The back of my head. So Monica... I don't know, Monica. It's just this nagging. You put it in a Ziploc bag around him, and I just want you to have that for you. Yeah, listen to this. I don't trust the people around him, and I just want you to have that for you. Put it in a baggie, put it in a Ziploc bag. I don't know, Monica. It's just this nagging, awful feeling I have in the back of my head. So Monica did save the dress. And this is one secret she says she kept, even from her mother, until Linda Tripp told prosecutors about it. One of the other things that people don't understand is, you gave the dress to your mother. What kind of a woman saves the dress? There have been a lot of things that
What kind of woman saved the
been
dress?
said
You
about
have to say saves the dress with jizz on.
like them. They're not true. And that is one of them. My mom did not know about this dress until the rest of the world first heard of this dress. And it was, I think, a few weeks into this nightmare, and it was on the TV, and she turned to me and she said, What is this about this dress? Is this one of these crazy things that they keep talking about? And I looked at her and I said, well,
Is this like I said, a woman wanting money for sucking cock?
in your apartment in New York. And she just looked at me, and we were both so paralyzed with fear. And
Did she
I
get
hadn't
money?
even yet, and I was terrified of the way I was being watched, how I was being monitored. I didn't know, and I thought, okay, I could watch this, I could destroy this. I knew at that point, I knew that was obstruction of justice, and I was in enough trouble already. 10-star people didn't know you had this dress. Why did you turn it over? Because I had to. Getting and keeping my immunity became very important to me, and making take care of myself and my family. No one else was worried about me. Did you say we had to then tell the truth about absolutely everything, including the dress? You bet. And I did. If it had not been for the DNA evidence, the president might never have admitted his relationship with you. Linda Tripnar said she did too, right? No.
Kind of, I guess.
If there was a parade and I said to you, you Walters, come stand here for the best view of this parade. And I planned actually secretly to push a piano out of the window to fall on your head. And then at the last minute, I pulled you out of the way so that the piano didn't hit you. And then said, I saved your life. It's ridiculous. It's ludicrous. This dress is one of the most humiliating things that has happened to me. Every man that I have met since this thing has happened eventually says to me, so what's the real story with the dress? And it's humiliating. I wish I hadn't had it. What was just being returned to me? I don't know. It was turned over to me as property. What were they doing? I'll burn it.
We have to know if she got the dress
Monica
back.
calls D-Day. The president tells Monica that the relationship is over. What did he say? And how did she handle it? You would scream at him sometimes over the phone. You would scream at him in person. You would threaten him. The president of the United States.
Yeah, it's getting good.
2020 continues. Once again, Barbara Walters.
We return now to Monica Lewinsky in her own words. What had begun as a relationship of intimate encounters and amorous phone calls was now turning sour. The president, it seems, was trying to find a way out. You will hear an amazing admission, Monica says, he made to her about his marriage. And you will learn now how the unraveling of their romance turned into the most terrifying year of their life. Let's turn to May 24th, 1996. This was a year and a half about after your relationship with Bill Clinton began. It's what you call D-Day. It stood for Dump Day.
Dumb
Day.
day. No.
In breaking up with you that day, the president confided in you, as he had not before. He talked about
Is this like I said, Duck Day?
that he had
What?
in his life and in his private life. Monica later told investigators that Bill Clinton said he had led a life of lies and deception ever since he was a small boy. According to Monica, the president said that he had been with hundreds
Is
of
like I said, Duck Day.
and at that time he considered divorce and leaving politics, but decided to try to make his marriage work and to, quote, be good. According to Monica, he told her that they could remain friends and that he could do a lot for her, but that their relationship was not right in the eyes of God. I was heartbroken. And until the time he was 40, and at that time he considered divorce. And according to Monica, the president said that he had been with hundreds of women until the time he was 40, and at that time he considered divorce and leaving politics, but decided to try to make his marriage work and to, quote, be good. According to Monica, he told her that they could remain friends and that he could do a lot with her, but that's their relation.
Not right in the eyes of God. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, why? This working.
Friendship was not right in the eyes of God. I was heartbroken. I didn't want the relationship to end. You want so badly to hold on to this thing that you want. And it hurts. You said that when you left Bill Clinton's office that day, you sobbed in the arms of Betty Curry. And there were times when she escorted you into the president's office and left. Do you think that Betty Curry was an enabler? I certainly know that this relationship could not have continued the way it did when I was at the Pentagon and the president was sort of at the White House without Betty. In retrospect, do you think that Betty Curry knew about your relationship with the president? She strikes me as the type of woman that probably wouldn't even have allowed herself to think that. She certainly knew that there was a personal relationship there, something that caused me great happiness and great distress. A scene that has been talked about and written about was when you went to the White House, an unscheduled visit to see Bill Clinton, and you were told at the gate that he was meeting with a woman, a journalist named Helen Mondale. You got mad, you stopped off, and angry Bill Clinton called you later and said, Monica, you made a mistake. He was furious. Where were you at that point in your life? I was at the end of my rope. I mean, this was, I don't know that people can understand the push and pull of this relationship. I mean, how confusing it would be for
Look at that. Oh my God. This is a razor commercial with girls with armpit hair in it.
Dyslexia said the push and pull of Clinton's cock in her mouth.
Oh my God. How can I replay this ad? Oh my God. Billy Razor's ad. Now there's my algorithm working for once.
Going to get. It fits everything.
Billy's Razor ad.
A fraction.
They're on my side.
There have probably been more questions asked about the now infamous stained blue dress than about almost any other aspect of Monica and the president's affair. Without this, about secretly to push a piano out of the
Come on, Barbara, please. Please. Why? Why? Oh my God, can't I just watch my 2020? Oh my God. Please. Please, Lord, just let me watch my 2020. That's all I want is a light, happy bubble and just 2 more segments. 2020.
But the relationship is over. What did he say? And how did she handle it? You would scream at
Just like I said, it's a sign from God that this relationship with you two is not right.
You would threaten him, the president of the
That
United
could be true.
States.
2020 continues. Once again, Barbara Walters.
We return now to Monica Lewinsky in her own words. What had begun as a relationship with intimate encounters and amorous phone calls is now 1996. This was a year and a half about after your relationship with Bill Clinton began. It's what you call D-Day. It stood for dump day.
Oh my God.
Yeah, what up? This is Lorenz, 1500 Nothing. This is songwriter, co-founder of 1500 Sounds.
Did you ever try to have intercourse? Uh-huh. What? I actually had always thought he'd
Oh my God.
dumped Monica. Yeah. In breaking up with you that day, the president confided in me as he had not before. Your life. Let's turn to May 24th, 1997. This was a year and a half about after your relationship with Bill Clinton began. It's what you call D-Day. It stood for
She already
dump
stormed.
day. Dump Monica. Yeah.
She already
In
stormed.
breaking up with you that day, the president confided in me as he had phoned. We would speak with him in person. We would,
Okay.
what was best in return to you?
Oh my God. This is so hard. Why?
Did you ever try to have intercourse?
Oh my God, no.
You would threaten him, the president of the United States. But the relationship is over. What did he say? And how did she handle it? You would scream at him sometimes over the phone. You would scream with him in person. You would.
Right.
Then this thing had happened. Eventually, it says to me, "So what's the real story with the dress?" And it's humiliating. I wish I hadn't had it. What was just being come back? What Monica calls D-Day. The president tells Monica that the relationship is over. What did he say? And how did?
Wait. Oh, Jesus. Sits and Christ. Oh my God. This is so annoying. Fine. This shit, none of this stuff is working.
Just like I said, please watch Hotspots.
Since we remain friends, nothing can do a lot for her.
Is it
About the relationship
been
was not
posted
in
earlier?
the eyes of God.
I was heartbroken.
I don't even understand. Oh my god. I think I have to restart my computer.
Dyslexia said yes, I posted it earlier.
Do you have a review of it, Dyslexia? It sounds like you have a review, Dyslexia. What's Dylexia's review?
Dyslexia said I do not have a review.
Did you watch it? Did you watch it, Dyslexia?
Dyslexia said I'm waiting to watch it here.
Jesus. Okay, fine.
He is in great distress. A scene that has been talked about was when you went to the White House.
Lesbian to try lesbian. Try lesbian. I like that. Oh, wow. I got so many tabs that I have to leave up. Okay. Okay, Hogsbox. Make it snappy. I don't even know if I want to be reviewing this lesbian. You know, I've been very non-critical of Hogs, my fellow lesbian, and I'll continue to be that way, but does this lesbian deserve it? I don't know.
Well, you know,
I can't be sure.
All showed up.
Ooh, full body.
To start this off, are there any newlyweds in the audience?
Oh, he's doing stand-up.
A few people over here.
Wait, is this live? Was this live?
Okay. Well, let me tell you something. It's downhill from here, guys.
Look at that backdrop.
Get married in Vegas. All right, that's interesting. Let me tell you. How about? Are there any birthdays in the crowd? Go over here. Oh, that's interesting.
Wow.
When's your birthday?
There was a birthday.
Okay, interesting. How old are you?
Doing a lot of crowd work. Lesbian to lesbian.
It's good to see you. I'm glad you came out. Now, I was in traffic, right? I was driving around in traffic, and I saw this guy driving a car. Dude, that's so 21st century. And he's like, "Where are you from?" I'm like, "Ah, good point." So here's the deal, right? This is
Mushroom.
the mushroom.
I knew it.
Show.
Lesbian to lesbian.
More importantly, it is Ghostbusters. And Porcelain likes to refer, or did refer to me in that one video, Ghostbusters. But you know, any mention by the great Porcelain is always appreciated. If you didn't notice,
What's that
this
vitamin
is the new hot room.
Oh.
It's fucking hot. The backdrop is okay, but you know, actually, a guy. You know what I should have done is I should actually like have material. But a guy was.
I thought he was gonna do a
The guy
half-hour
did a
stand-up.
stand-up special. I can't remember who produced it. I think it was Gerard Carmichael or something. And it was a guy doing his stand-up set, and he didn't have an audience or anything. So it's pretty interesting. But man, does it? I don't know. It just feels. By the way, and I want to maybe respond to this the next time I do a show.
I hope he
But
talks.
Unbleached was talking about how stand-up is not legit because you gotta prepare.
How about lesbian to lesbian?
So how could it be legit? That is such a
Beta.
That's a way off, interpretation of what stand-up comedy is. There is no rule that says you have to write every single thing you say on stage. Not only that, but even the jokes that you write are not necessarily going to be said the same way happen when you're on stage. Thank you, Chester Berry, for the compliment on the curtains. They actually, you know, I don't know what to do with them. That one almost looks like a magic eye painting, but you know, I got to get a real backdrop in here. But even more importantly, got to get some air conditioning in here, because I was all optimistic before. I'm like, hey, you know, if I'm sweating a bunch, maybe I'll lose some weight. But then I found out you only lose weight from like actual physical activity. The sweating is just a myth. Just a made up lie by the children of
It's still good for you, Hans. It's detoxifying, and you don't want to eat when you're that hot. So lesbian to lesbian, I don't want you to lose a pound. I want you to gain some weight, Hotsy. Lesbian to lesbian. See, Alexa, I wasn't even planning to do a lesbian review tonight.
A lot of people
But
are burning up
doing it
outside,
for the
and I don't know what's wrong with old people going outside. I don't like it. I don't think it's good for them. I don't even like to watch construction workers constructing things or whatever those other construction.
Got a lot of bits about watching Leslie
It's
Mann,
actually the opposite.
which is kind of very non-lesbian.
I wanted to, you know what I need is comedians have these personas of like corny personas, and they use those personas to tell all their shitty jokes that don't make the cut. Like Jim Norton has Chip Chiverson, other people that you don't know have characters as well. In fact, I did an interview with a guy, and he admitted that he does his jokes in order to, he has this persona so that if his jokes bomb, they still, you know, kill. And the guy who does a radio show with him got kind of pissed off because he's like, oh, you're not even trying. But, you know, that guy's prone to a bit of anger, so who knows. But I'm drinking hot coffee in a hot room. Not a good
Dyslexia said of people you don't know. Great example.
I'm drinking some
What?
Indian coffee. Because
People
apparently
you don't know?
it's 2005 again, and it's coolish
Oh,
and everything.
gotcha.
It's like 4 letters. Remember when
He's talking about the local
Day?
PA comedy scene. Alexa.
But I'm just here for your branding advice.
And he's not giving anybody a leg up. And he's not,
Sam
you know what?
Hill
More
wants me to
so,
do the
he's
show
invalidating
tonight,
his own scene
and,
and his own
you're
status in
fucking
the comedy
gay as
world.
shit. By the
Because,
way,
you know, maybe I
okay,
do know whatever
okay,
comics
you
over there
stand
in
up.
PA.
or you criticize.
He should talk himself up a bit more. Lesbian to lesbian, which is not a critique. Never critique. Love you, lesbians.
I feel like that was his little thing, just because I criticized his opinion of stand-up. But really, like,
What are you saying?
you're a gay fucking gay homo. Thank you, sir. Thanks,
Dyslexia said
I
Paul.
feel like this is more than a stand-up. Great, awesome, unique. That's very true. I like the spelling on unique. It's a very unique spelling. But thanks, please. Bill D. Just because I criticize. I love. Thank you. They're curtains, but or you criticize
See?
it because
He
I
didn't read the
fucking love
comment
it.
totally out loud.
I
Annoying.
Thank you. They're curtains, but
He didn't read it out
I feel
loud.
like that was his little
Read
thing.
it out
Just 'cause
loud.
just 'cause
Uh-oh,
I
Gilby got a
criticized
cherry
it.
over there.
But really, like, you're a gay fucking gay
I don't
homo.
want you to eat my
Thank you,
attention
sir.
that now.
Thanks, please. I feel like this is more than a stand-up. Great, awesome, unique. That's very true.
Yeah, man.
I like the spelling on unique. It's a very unique spelling. It's Alpha Sam. That's Sam Hill's new name because he refers to himself as Alpha quite a lot. But, you know, what I was trying to explain is that stand-up doesn't, look, I'm already sweating on my neck. Stand-up doesn't have to be prepared. It can be. Certainly can be, but it's, I mean, if you watch like hecklers and shit and people, if they don't use their stock comeback lines, then it's legit. Now, I will say that some stand-up comedians are not good at that transition. For example, like I saw Anthony Jeselnik reason that I
That's
think that people
interesting.
prepare the material is simply because you gotta do well. Now, you know, in terms of radio, the thing that makes radio better is that you don't have to have a laugh a second. And the name of the improv was always, it is always confusing, you know, because the main form of comedy there is not improvised, at least not entirely. But I mean, go look at, if you want to see how well all improvised stuff is, go watch like
You want to take that to
most
your
improv
lair?
shows. I think I would say at least 50% of improv is just total shit.
Okay. That's
And that might be a generous amount. But there's a place in the city called Comedy Sports. And
The dyslexia said is
I don't even know. I should check it out.
How cute that was?
That's the place I prefer. I don't know. Everything is I don't know. I don't know a ton of people who are good at both radio and stand-up. It seems like people pick one or the other. And maybe I picked the wrong one here doing the live stream. Maybe I should get back to that.
I think you can do both, Hawksbox. I think you got enough time in the day.
Comedy Sports involves dildos and anal. Well, that sounds pretty good. Maybe I'll check that out. I think dildos and anal come up just about every time. There was a sex night with two performers. It was a duo, dildos and anal. It's pretty, you know, I don't know. I like it, and that's it. I don't need to go to bat for it. I want to show you guys one of these days.
I don't know if people just
The
don't
clip
go out
where I
and do
ran up on
stand-up.
stage and ripped up this guy's set list in a moment of anger. That's a
A
good
lot of
video.
people feel like you have to be
Don't know if
going
it's
really
still up yet.
hard
It's for
or
me to go.
you can't go at all.
But man, some people gave me a trashing on their little tiny show, probably smaller than my show. But I took it seriously at the time, and you know, it's this whole
I want to
situation
see
where this guy
Hawksbox
lied about his dad
when he's
dying,
taking things
and he wanted me to like
personally
give him some jokes. I'm like,
and crying.
No,
I want him to
I don't
show
want him to
that
have my
side
jokes, so I
of
picked up
it.
his set list, and I was kind of doing it for the theater of
Oh,
the
I
whole
heard
thing
about
as well. And no, I have not tried vaudeville yet. Where the fuck you go? That's like some like 1910s or like 1800s shit. I don't even know when that's from. But somebody told me about this stand-up karaoke thing that Mark Norman is doing, and that looks pretty cool. I forget what it's called. Why don't you try tap dancing, faggot?
What is stand-up
Okay.
karaoke?
You have to sing and dance too. Well, you know, I am known for my singing and dancing. I know I have dance. Is there a dance equivalent to karaoke? I guess that would just be dancing at a club. I don't know. But oh, you know what I want to do is get a projector in here. Get a projector so I can project my clips on this big ass
It's too
wall.
hot here. You
And I have
know,
a bigger
it's like
screen
I have
than
so much
certain
energy when I'm
people,
not in this
certain
room. And
red
I
bar
go to this
shows.
room and I'm like, I just want to watch Monica Lewinsky.
You know, I still think the idea that Punch just is red bar just because they have a similarity in the set is just silly. I mean, that means that Mike's not even very self-aware. He thinks he knows the same kind of show. You would do a great
Dyslexia said
thanks
3
for the
computer.
memory.
What?
What's up, Joe DeRosa? You know, Joe DeRosa was supposed to message me back about an interview, but he never did. So that was a bummer. And the late Brody Stevens, he was supposed to get back to me. Oh well, rest in peace. I wish Joe DeRosa had passed instead of Brody. Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah.
No, I wish some lesser comedian passed. People say that. I wish you died and said, how about you wish nobody died? Wouldn't that be better? If you didn't wish death on anybody. That's how I feel. I need to fuck it. I never understood the red bar comparison either. I think Mike might just be suffering from alcohol-induced dementia. So, when Mike messaged you, did he say that Did he really say, well, well, well? Or is that just part of your impression? That is a great way to start a private message. Well, well, well. What have you been doing? Or what do you say? Do you want to explain what's been going on? What is that? You know, what does that mean? It's so
I can't
vague.
believe Hawk
So vague.
You know what? I really don't even want to review this because, like, where's the public
Sam, don't call me
apology
today.
at
Only
the
Maggie
start
can call
of
him
the
today as
set?
well.
Where's acknowledgement
I gotta
of
tell you,
the
though,
jock's
A
jock?
lot of folks,
I don't,
a lot of folks
you know,
like
I'm trying to
mushrooms.
be generous and be
Talking
lesbian
to-
to
I
lesbian,
feel it looks a
here,
little phallic,
but
what does
lesbian
these days?
to lesbian isn't the same
Got
thing
any,
as one lesbian being
Anybody in
good
the crowd
to
here
another
who's,
lesbian and that
likes
lesbian
pot?
being an
Anybody smoke
asshole to the
marijuana?
other
all
lesbian.
these
That's not how
questions,
lesbian, that's one
Watch,
lesbian, one
Mike
lesbian.
Epps doing the
Lesbian
stand-up
to
special,
lesbian is
and he
about
did like a million of them.
a
How many single
mutual
ladies I got in the
lesbian
audience?
shit.
How many birthdays?
And I
How
don't
many
know
people
why
had a
I'm
dog and sold
reviewing
your
this
dog? How many
lesbians.
people like cars?
Hurt
You
addict.
one. Everything you could ask a person, he asked the person in the audience, and it was like, why is this? I get it if you're doing like the Chuckle Hut in Kansas, but why are you doing this on the comedy? There's all sorts of hack
I'm not a
tricks, like
fan.
when Jim Norton did the
You know
cabaret.
My
the small town here.
fanship
He was doing making jokes like, oh, you know, 6'11",
waning.
like local roads.
It's
Making jokes about local
seriously
roads.
waning.
There's no reason you know
It's
anything about.
waning hard.
6'11", the drive on there, man. I wish I killed myself before I got here. Something like that. And it's like I know that when he's in some other studio, some other city, it's like you know, the I-720 can't handle it. It's like shut up. We know that you're pandering. Except most people probably don't know he's pandering, so they accept it. No, I'm not streaming right now. I've never done proper mushrooms. You know. I've said that I did, but only as a shorthand for truffles. But that's a similar thing. But I don't know. I don't like associating with drug users though. I said that to Matt the other day, and he took it seriously. It's very funny. But I think that Sam Hill messaged me today saying he wants me to go on his show at 10 tonight, and I don't remember ever agreeing to that. I remember saying something about how I would check it out, or maybe I could do it, but I don't know that I specifically said that, so I don't know what his deal is. But drink up your scissor. And I wanted, I can't do the phone calls because my phone's shut. Actually, you could call it, you could attempt to call it. You're doing it tonight, Beta. Oh, is that right, Alpha Sam? So is other Sam Beta Sam then? Is that how this works? If you're Alpha Sam? Can you see me just melting like a candle? I'm actually just made of wax, so that's why my skin is this color. We didn't have any money for pigment for the wax, so we just had to do it white. I'm almost as white as the wall. Maybe if I go like that, I'll almost blend in. So I think that there are 52 types of precious stones in the world, and if you guys could mention all of the precious stones, I'll give you my precious stone calendar. I think you really enjoy it. Well, I did hear Russell Cook. I did hear the episode was called Russell Cook, so check that out. Amethyst. I don't know. Yeah, that's something on there, I think. You know, I think that it's crazy what happened with Spider-Man. They're getting rid of Spider-Man from Marvel. Isn't that amazing? Let me take a look at it. I'm curious if there's any new Red Bar stuff. I'm curious if that even matters because, you know, Mike David is a great guy. Great guy. Sends his mother and his girlfriend His wife and his girlfriend love him. So that's it. I'm doing this from one screen right now because I got no other screens up here. And I'm thinking I don't want to shoot my show in HD. I want to do it in the lowest definition possible because then I don't even have to shave or do anything because you won't be able to tell anyway.
Yo, like we
Or maybe
TV
I'll go to the mic.
420.
I don't know.
Like we TV
Look, you
420.
can attempt to call it 484-200-5186.
420.
I see a new post in red bar, and it's marked. It's got a flare that I didn't even know you could put on there. The flare says Jew. Right. So there's always new things being added to Reddit. Let's see. So the title is "There is no bigger kite than Mike." I like that little rhyme there. And it's marked Jew. I noticed there are some retards on this subreddit trying to downplay Mike's Jewness as a major factor of his depravity and general human scumminess. If I ever needed a better insight into a mind of a kite, I have it now. That rant he had on his last show about how weddings are dumb and all, that was not a bit. That was his genes. Kite genes, hating everything moral and or orderly. The arguments he gave were straight up retarded and so easy to see through. I can't fathom who pays for this shit or supports him in any way. My guess is other castaway broke Jews. That sad tone of his dumb bitch asking him to take her out to a ball game so she can wear some special shirt or whatever was horrifying. This kite faggot can't help but to deprave even the things he supposedly likes. He can't help himself, he's a Jew, and he can't create anything of substance. He can't construct, only tear down. That's the mentality of Jews. Relativism and downplaying on everything. Murder, marriage is stupid, why does my mother need to know who I am fucking? That's a Jew for you. And you wonder, why do Jews run worldwide networks of child fucking? Wow, that's quite an interesting take. Somebody posts this thing in the comments. Let's see what it is. And it's loaded. And it's something stupid. So I'll just close that. Something from Ryan Dawson. But then Orridge says, Mike wishes he was a Jew. He can't even do that correctly. He doesn't have the balls for the devil's game. Mike tried to fuck a kid back in tourist studies, but failed the class because he ran out crying. Mike is weak and an insult to the faith. Wow. So maybe it's not that he's ashamed to be Jewish because he's Judaism. He's ashamed because he's not measuring up to the rest of the Jews in the world. The man who posted that is named Adam Green. Oh, is that right? Do you know him? Is that a joke? I don't know anybody or anything he would reference anything on, so I really can't. Another post says, there has to be a reason Mike didn't bring up the fact that his close friend Drew Michael got completely trashed in front of millions of listeners on Rogan's podcast. There has to be a reason. Maybe there is a reason. Let's find out. Oh, the Legion of Skeptics episode. Okay. Wait, how many people were on that episode?
I don't know.
Boring.
Yes, that's what I have to say about this.
I want to play. See, I can only really get the audio. I don't know if that's worthwhile or not. A few people that I know of in real life, I think, are on the Red Bar sub, but
I am getting to
confirm or deny
I will
that,
get
so
back
who
to you.
knows? But Sam Hill's doing a show at 10. I don't know what he wants me to do. Call in or what?
Oh no! I never understand when Sam Hill's show is.
I know there's a big rift between RDA and Unbleached, and I'm not even allowed to mention Don A. According to Don A. I said that.
Charlie Girls, apparently. Oh my god.
Just because you're dead to somebody else's show doesn't mean you're dead to my show necessarily. Unless you're beta. But I think I'm going to start wearing an HB hat. Amazon, the Amazon is burning and smoke from the fires can be seen from space. Is that right? Now, when I heard the Great Wall of China can be seen from space, I was like, damn! And then I stopped caring about it. And, you know, America, we should build, like, how big is the Great Wall of China? I don't even know how tall the Great Wall of China is, but we should be building the wall in America. Should be, first of all, it should take up a third of Mexico. That's how wide it should be. It should be bigger than the Grand Canyon, and Danny Way should jump over it on a skateboard, just like he did on the Grand Canyon. Danny Way and Tony Hawk should hold hands and jump over it. And then, but the trick is, once he lands in Mexico, he's not allowed to return. That's the one rule. So, if you want to get Mexicans out of the country, I recommend teaching them all how to skate mega ramps and then launching them off of them over the impossibly tall.
Are you telling me Andy
Where's
wants
the
to
problem?
get
Is
on
that
that
people on the other side just climb the ramp and
what can we see that be?
I didn't think this out yet. Or maybe Elon Musk can help.
You know what, the Monica, let's see if we can get Monica back on.
Maybe he has.
Because I'm just not getting any revelations out of Hotspots for this.
An unscheduled visit to see Bill Clinton. And you were told at the gate
Yes,
that he was meeting with a
this is right where we were.
journalist named Eleanor Mondale. You got mad, you stalked off, and angry Bill Clinton called you later and said, Monica, you made a stink. He was furious.
You made a stink.
Well,
Monica,
really,
you made a stink.
I was at the end of my rope. I mean, this was, I don't know that people can understand the push and pull of this relationship. I mean, how confusing it would be for me to, on the one hand, have someone saying things to you, I promise this, I promise that, I care about you, I don't want to hurt you, I want to take care of you, and then the actions are something different. And then you get into a fight, and then you make up. Then he says everything's okay and I miss you, and then he doesn't want to see you. It's pretty tough emotionally. Towards the end of the relationship with Bill Clinton, you had many arguments. You would scream at him sometimes over the phone. You would threaten him. The President of the United States.
The president?
I didn't see him
He
as
was
the
my
President
boyfriend.
of the United States.
He was my boyfriend.
Saw him as
He was
and that was how I treated him.
boyfriend.
We've been out of control. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that for someone like me, who's a very passionate, loving woman, I think you often get close to that line. And I went through a very difficult period, and I could not recognize that I needed help. And I needed to be on some sort of antidepressant much later on, after everything with Ken Starr, after the academic this past year. You were put on medication. Yes? Yes. One of the things that perhaps people don't understand is that once you broke off the sexual relationship, Bill Clinton continued.
Hold on. This is so good. You're right. Whoever was like, Bubbles is better. Monica is treasure. And also leisure. You're so right. Ooh, what about this music? I mean, I would never cheat on Happy Bubbles, but this is just, I'm only going to be gone for a second. Oh, no. This is, oh, wait. Okay, just think about this. Let's just give it, let's just give it a small, just give it a momentary chance, Let's just not totally dismiss it. There's bubbles. I know a lot of you are saying it's not happy, but maybe you're not happy. Maybe just meditate for a moment. Oh my God. You guys are right. Ah! Oh, no. That was bad. That was not good. That was not great. Okay, this is horrible. I'm so sorry that I left this playing, and I hate these, and there's no bubbles. I'm sorry. I think I'm so sorry. If you never forgive me for that, what just happened right there, I won't be happy. I'll miss you. You'll be missed, but I will understand. I have to apologize for that. I'm so sorry. Choo 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 choo. Oh no.
I'm Jonathan Crawford, CEO of Jobs.com, and I'm here to give you the naked truth about laundry.
Did you ever try to have intercourse? What happened? I actually had always thought he eventually would. And
Wait,
it really was
why did it do
to have
this?
conversations with you, meetings with you. Yes, it isn't the end is the end and that's it. No. But I also have to add that there was another element to all this, which was my job. And I had lost my job and I had been promised that I could come back. You know, other women have had sexual relationships and they don't expect that out of it is going to come a job. I never expected that out of this relationship would come a job. But you then said, years. You gotta help me get a job. No, what happened was that he promised me on April 6th, 1996, when I had to leave the White House, he promised me, and he said to me, I promise you, if I win in November, I'll bring you back. Okay, and he didn't. So he didn't keep his promise. So you could have said he didn't keep his promise, he didn't get me a job, so be it, but you held him to that. I did. Towards the end of this relationship, you were a real pain in the butt. You bet. You bet. So, President, they talked with you. Fine. You decided you wanted to go to Washington. And Linda Tripp suggested that you ask Colonel Jordan, the president's very close friend, a very powerful man, and he helped you look for a job. Now, you have been very adamant that Vernon Jordan's help was not in any way a payoff for your silence. But then tell us why you think he was helping you. I don't think I've ever said that I thought Mr. Jordan's assistant had nothing to do with the fact that the president and I were at least friends. But I was never promised a job for my silence. Your feeling was that the president expected Vernon Jordan to help her? Do you think that Vernon Jordan knew that you had an affair with Bill Clinton? I don't know. Well, you told him at one point something about it. What did you say? After I'd asked him if he thought the president would always be married to the first lady, he said, yes, he should. Yes, he will, as he should. But then Mr. Jordan said, but maybe you'll have an affair with him when he's out of office. And that was startling to me. And I said to him, well, I already did have an affair with him, but we didn't have sex or everything but sex or something like that. An affair without sex. Still called an affair? I think so. I consider that I had an affair with the president. We didn't have sex. Well, intercourse. So, Monica, I never know where to go with that one. Songs that relate to people kind of finding out a real place.
Going from like an underground artist to getting more notoriety.
We have so much access to our favorite artists right now, so that if you aren't named, they see right through it, period.
I was lying, just honest. My music, I would have to carry on their lives.
Different self, happy, cheerful. You can tell a lot about someone's personality by the clothes that they choose to wear too. So if it's like a high profile event and you dress more fancy.
Yeah, sneakers definitely play a part in that.
And shoes are the things that I'm like, okay, like, I'm gonna make a statement with the shoe right now, or I'm gonna do like a chill shoe and then let the clothes be crazy.
They're transparent. It saves me. It's much easier than being myself and just be myself for the rest of my career.
there's so much to learn about just getting out and meeting new people. But it always starts off with two, because did you ever try to have intercourse? What happened? I actually had always thought we eventually would. And there really was never a question for me. And I think most normal people would think, well, sure, you're going to have an affair, you're going to make love, and it's going to be great, or you hope it's great. But when we first spoke about it, actually it was during the election, and he said, I can't do that. And I said, what do you mean you can't do that? And he said, well, when you get to be my age, you'll understand there are consequences for those kinds of things. And I got really upset because to me, that completes a relationship. I felt it was unfair to me, having been in this relationship and having been a part of it, that I would never know what it was like to be that intimate with him. But I don't think we ever tried. I think I tried to get him to want to have sex with me. Okay, but it never actually happened. In December of 1997, more than 8 months after the end of their physical relationship with Bill Clinton, Paula Jones' attorneys named you as a potential witness in their civil suit against the president. The president called to tell you this, and about 2 o'clock in the morning, he often called you late at night. Were you frightened? Terribly. Terribly. Were you amazed? Yes, I was astounded. I mean, this really was the beginning of the nightmare. But the nightmare would only get worse, as Monica found herself facing threats of prison with what seemed to her no way out. I have never been so afraid my entire life. As her romance fell apart, Monica at first thought she could control events. There was a devious game of hide and seek with gifts that the president had given Monica, and that had been subpoenaed by Paula Jones's lawyers. Most of those gifts wound up under the bed of the president's secretary, Becky Curry. Curry's story and Lewinsky's different as to whose idea that was. And then there was Linda Tripp. When she said she would tell the truth about Lewinsky's affair if asked by lawyers for Paula Jones, Monica panicked. She begged Tripp to conceal the relationship, even offering her mother's vacation home to Tripp as an inducement to lie. And Monica later gave Tripp 3 pages of notes, the so-called talking points, to use as possible guidelines for Tripp's affidavit. Let's talk about those infamous talking points. Now, Linda Tripp says that she believes that the notion that you wrote those on your own is about as likely as you co-authoring the Gettysburg Address for Lincoln. Now, you testified that you wrote these yourself. So her question is, and the question of other people is, how were you able to use those legal terms? You're not that informed. You're not that smart. Did anyone help you with these talking points? No. I had been working on my own affidavit with my attorney at the time. I've been told by the prosecutors and by my own attorneys I should go to law school. I guess I have a knack for it. I sat down at the computer and I typed it out. You finally did file a false affidavit, saying that you did not have a sexual relationship with the president. Did you know that you were committing perjury? No, I think I knew I was lying, but I had no knowledge. I mean, I had no idea what all the different elements of perjury were at the time. Were you trying to protect the president? I was trying to protect myself and the president and my family. The president never told you to lie. No, but he also never told you to tell the truth. Correct. You told Linda Tripp that one of the main reasons that you were going to deny the sexual relationship in your affidavit was for fear of your life. You said, I would not trust those people for fear of my life. Who will those people? What did you do? That was not a very truthful statement that I made to her at that time on the case. I think I was trying to get Linda to keep my secret. and trying to be anything and anybody that would do that. So whether it was my mom, whether it was Mr. Jordan, whether it was something the president said, whether it was fear, whatever it was that I could do, whether it was a condo in Australia, I didn't want her to tell my secret. Linda Tripp recently said that you passed on the White House threat certificate. Did you hear that? No. January 16th, 1990. Linda Tripp asked me to meet at the Ritz-Carlton Hotel near the Pentagon. There you were confronted not only by Linda Tripp, by members of police staff, and by FBI agents. What happened? My attorneys have agreed with the Office of the Independent Counsel that I would not discuss the details of that interview. Due to her unusual immunity, remember Ken Starr, Monica is not allowed to discuss that day with members of the news media, which includes me. But her lawyers interpreted the immunity agreement in such a way that she was able to tell British author Andrew Morton about it. And it is described in vivid detail in this book. 2 armed FBI agents led Monica to room 1012 in the Ritz-Carlton Hotel, where there were 6 members of Ken Starr's staff waiting for her. For hours on end, they threw questions at her. Monica was threatened with 27 years in prison for perjury, witness tampering, and obstruction of justice. But even worse for Monica, she says, the prosecutors also threatened her mother with criminal charges because of statements Monica had made on the Linda Tripp tapes. Those statements, if true, might have implicated her mother in the obstruction of justice. But the prosecutors promised Lewinsky immunity then and there, that she told them everything, and wore a wire to record conversations with Vernon Jordan, Betty Curry, and possibly even the president. The confrontation, according to the book, was at times tense and ugly. Monica describes one prosecutor as a revolting specimen of humanity, another as a pit bull who mocked her when she asked to call her mother. And when she wanted to call her lawyer, prosecutors discouraged her. After 12 hours resisting the demands of prosecutors, Monica's family hired attorney Bill Ginsburg, and Monica finally went home. You learned that day that Linda Tripp had taped your conversation. You didn't know then that she had taped other things. But how did you feel when you learned for the first time that she taped you? Gutted and violated and betrayed and scared. I understand that you're restricted in the events of those days and what happened when you were in the room with Ken Starr's people and the FBI agents. But you can't tell us how you were feeling. How did you feel that day? What were your emotions? Oh, I was petrified. I have never been so afraid my entire life. I wanted to die. I wanted to kill everybody in the room. I was just very, very scared. As we talk now, today, so you feel afraid of? I'm afraid of doing something to lose my immunity and being prosecuted for having my family prosecuted. You mean you still think you could go to jail? I learned things this past year and saw things this past year that I didn't know happened in this country. And yes, I worry about that. Have you ever met Ken Starr? Have you ever talked to Ken Starr? No. What do you think of Ken Starr? Who's Ken Starr? We're not talking about what happened that day. We're talking about your feelings. Why aren't you afraid to answer that? I'm sorry. Monica's fears only intensified. Ken Starr's prosecutors surrounded her, and when her story became known, the media besieged her, and she seriously considered suicide. Behind the name Monica Lewis, there's a person, there is a family. We now turn to the bleakest and most desperate months for Monica Lewinsky. Every detail of her life became public knowledge. She didn't have immunity from prosecution, and her lawyer, Bill Ginsburg, she says, was failing her. And worst of all, the president was denying that he'd had any relations with her. He almost seemed not to know her name. But at the beginning, her greatest fear was what Ken Starr's prosecutors might do to her and to the president. After this session with the prosecutors and the FBI, you and your mother went back to her apartment at the Watergate. Tell me about that night. We were manic, and we were so afraid that any minute we were going to be arrested, and not knowing, for me, I was constantly thinking at that point, how am I going to protect the president? How am I going to let him know? How is he going to be helped? And I knew he was going to do the deposition the next day, and I was racking my brain trying to think of anything. Could I get in a taxi and go to Betty Curry's house? Could I call Bruce Lindsay, whom I had never met or spoken to? Who could I call? What could I do? Could I go stand outside where he's going to do the deposition and hold a sign? Don't do it. It's anything. What did you do? That night, I couldn't do anything. I couldn't put myself or my mother in that jeopardy. Did you think of running away? We figured that that all the airports would be spaced out, and that if my mom lay awake all night watching me sleep and made me take a shower with the door open, and because she didn't want me to hurt myself. She was afraid you might do yourself harm. Kill yourself? That bad. I felt very responsible. Responsible for what? For everything that was going to happen. And that had happened. And I didn't want him to get into trouble. You were worried about Bill Clinton? More than about yourself? More than about your mother? No. I was worried about my mom more than I was worried about the president. And I was worried about the president. And then I was worried about myself. And then 5 days later, the story broke. Everyone in the country now knew Monica Lewinsky. Unfortunately. I don't even know how to begin to describe what it was, but it was to see my face on TV, to read my name in the newspaper, to see and know that people are learning about my little relationship, my private relationship, and that there were all these people that I cared about were going to be in trouble. You've told friends that at one time or another, your mother and your father, because of things that were revealed, the most personal things about them, that each of them considered taking their own lives. It was that bad. They did.
What was revealed about them?
People have no idea what this has done. What this has done that behind the name Monica Lewinsky, there's a person and there is a family and there has been so much pain that has been caused by all this. And it is
6 of 6. Here we go. The final countdown.
When you use wash appliances, you can be really quite precise.
Lesbian to lesbian.
Reduction of skin condition, or even the way the dishwasher works, so nice and quiet. I love wash appliances because to me they're another ingredient. It's important that you use on great quality ingredients and also have great equipment. If you want your equipment to be something, you need to make sure that your wash always good.
it was so destructive. It was so destructive. I don't want to cause you more pain as we talk, but one of the lowest points of this past year has to be when your mother was forced to testify or asked to testify before the grand jury, and she broke down and sobbed on the stand. The mother should be forced to testify against her daughter. Monica says she could not have gotten through this past year without her mother and her father, whom she describes as her rock with the boat. Through much of the early part of the year, she also relied on a family friend, attorney Bill Ginsburg.
I would like Monica to be free and out of jeopardy. That's what I'd like to see as soon as possible.
I want to ask you a little bit about Bill Ginsburg. In the beginning, he was on television, and it seemed he was very helpful. As time went on, what do you think of Bill Ginsburg's role? I agree with you that at first he was, I think his motives were in the right place. Joining us now is Monica Lewinsky's attorney, William Ginsburg. But unfortunately, I think he got bitten by the bug.
I want some goddamn privacy.
It became more about Bill Ginsburg than it did about my well-being and my welfare. Do you think that Bill Ginsburg did you harm? Yeah, I do. I want to play a videotape to you. A very famous videotape.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman. This was. I never told anybody to lie, not a single time. Never.
What was your reaction when you saw this? That woman, part of the quote was so very harsh, and it was hurtful. I could see how angry he was, and I didn't think he needed to go about denying the relationship in this manner. That was disappointing. I think he could have taken a higher road in his denial. How? It still would have been he said, she said, if he had said, Monica and I were friends, she's a great woman, she's a bright woman, I don't know why she's saying these things. So Monica was bewildered and hurt, but did she still love Bill Clinton? Indeed, does she still love Bill Clinton? And what does she think of Linda Tripp? Linda Tripp says she would like to give you a hug. What would you like to give Linda Tripp?
That's the big question. What are you eating now, Gilby? That is not.
We are now almost at the end of our story. Where does Monica Lewinsky go from here? Will there ever be a job? Will there ever be a man in your life? Can she get Bill Clinton out of her heart and mind? And can she ever live down the reputation that it was she who pursued
everything? You get cherries.
I'd like to show you another
You
case.
got all this fruit, and then you're just stuffing random shit in
She
your
said
mouth.
that
What are you
she had
doing?
undermining him and
Not necessary.
made demands for sex that he had rebuffed her, turned her down. And that she threatened him. And he said that she said to him that she was called a stalker by her peers.
Sydney Donegal, the heir to President Clinton, saying that you were a stalker. The whole country then felt, if they hadn't before, that you were a stalker.
What?
Now, Bill Clinton.
I never felt that, Monica. Never felt that. If I was even born then, I don't know.
Defining moment when I really knew and fell out of love with him. And that I knew at that moment that he was definitely not the person I had ever thought he was. This past summer, you were offered immunity fund, and you were then required to discuss every intimate detail, every sexual detail of your relationship before a grand jury. Must have been excruciating. Very, very violating. Very violating. There is a question of why you offered so many intimate details
Even as a virgin.
to the prosecutor. I mean, why, for example, tell them about that cigar business? You know? Well, they would never have known, would they? You hadn't told them? No, they did know. They did know, especially from calling my girlfriends before the grand jury. You teased about this with your girlfriends? Well, sure. Well, I mean, that's the kind of relationship that we had. And still do have. We're tight. And so I was afraid if I sort of just answered the question as they asked them and didn't get the full information, that then they'd think I wasn't telling the truth and they'd take my immunity away. Your father had told me, we did an interview together.
What happened with the cigar?
They didn't know if you had sex with the president, and he didn't want to know. And then this testimony where he must have known. I think it's hard for him when the man who hurt your baby is the president of the United States. You can't go out and express your anger. You can't go beat the guy up. A low moment.
Indeed, I did have a relationship with Mr. Lewinsky that was not appropriate. In fact, it was wrong. It constituted a critical lapse in judgment and a personal failure on my part, for which I am solely and completely responsible.
You're watching this now. What do you think? I felt like a piece of trash. I felt dirty and I felt used, and I was disappointed. Felt he was being serviced, which was the impression. That was the impression he gave. In retrospect, do you think that Bill Clinton really cared about you? Some days I think yes, and some days I think no. Do you think he has any genuine remorse? Or do you think he's just sorry that he got caught? When I think of the person that I thought was Bill Clinton, I think he has genuine remorse. When I think of the person that I now see as 100% politician, I think he's sorry he got caught. How did you spend your time this past year? I worried, but a few months into it, my stepmom Barbara got me into knitting. So I started to knit, and I've knit quite a many scarves, and still trying to finish my first sweater. So everybody you know has a scarf. Pretty much so. But here's the cover of Newsweek. Monica's just time. That was very strange for me to see. Monica told me she read and followed almost everything, even the most disparaging stories. Monica, the tabloids were terrible to you, especially about your weight. The tubby temps, pork meat pepper pie. Did the weight stuff bother you? Of course. That was painful.
Hi, I'm meeting a friend here,
Your name?
Monica Lewinsky.
Oh, yeah.
How'd you feel about the jokes? All the comics telling jokes.
Well, some of the jokes they laughed at.
And the humidity, man, I'll tell you, people's clothes are stickier than Monica Lewinsky. Man, it was just... The secretary of the she knew something was sort of suspicious when she found herself using phrases like, "Sir, your 3 a.m. is here."
I have a pretty good sense of humor, and I've even been rumored to tell a joke or two.
Any of these jokes you can share with us?
No.
Not to clean.
No, not on this type plot.
If her testimony is truthful,
They're all about that.
then the president committed the offenses alleged in
That
the
Bill
articles of
Nye?
impeachment.
Then came the president's impeachment trial. Up until that time, people had never seen Monica tell any part of her own story.
You, Monica, asked Lewinsky to swear or affirm that the evidence...
She did, and the videotaped deposition played at the trial. Some of the House prosecutors said that you were trying to protect the president. Were you, even then, trying to protect Bill Clinton?
No. I was not trying to hurt him, and I was not trying to protect him.
So here we are. It's almost the end of the story. The president is going on with his life. Where do you go from here?
I don't know. I think I have a lot to do.
Are you still on medication?
Yeah.
And this is antidepressant medication?
Yeah.
Do you have any goals? Is there anything you'd like to do?
I'd like to make a contribution to society, a good contribution this time, I think. And I know it's corny, but I'd really like to find the right person and have a meaningful relationship and get married and have kids. It's really important to me.
Any man in your life now?
No Prince Charming yet.
You and I met before today when we first agreed to do the interview, and we had an initial meeting, and you said to me then that you'd seen Dr. Joyce Buffers on television.
Mm.
And that she had said, can you imagine a young man bringing home Monica Lewinsky to his parents and saying, I'm going to marry Monica Lewinsky? That really bothered you.
That was a bad day. That was a bad day. There have been some nights where I have just stayed awake crying, thinking about how am I ever going to have any sense of normalcy again in my life.
Linda Tripp says she would like to give you a hug. What would you like to give Linda Tripp?
Oh, nothing.
What do you think of Linda Tripp?
I pity her. I would hate pitying her. She is not me.
Have you learned anything from this experience?
I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot. I've learned how important family is and how to honor that and to cherish that. I have learned the true meaning of friendship. I have really my family and friends have been amazing.
I need
If you had to
stop.
do it all over,
Stop.
how would you have had the relationship with Bill?
I hope you took that stuff out of your mouth. Yes.
There's some days
Yes.
that
She would. Yes, she would.
I regret that the relationship ever started. And there's some days that I just regret that I ever confided in her the truth. Monica, are you still in love with Bill? No.
Yes,
Sure.
Barbara.
Over.
Oh, she is.
Sometimes I have warm feelings, sometimes I'm proud of him still, and sometimes I hate his guts. And it makes me sick. What would you tell your children when you're happy? Mommy made a big mistake. And that is the understatement of the year. The ABC News, I'm Barbara Walters. Good night.
Well, okay, Barbara. Throw that in on the phone. Is that so, Barbara? Is that so?
Good morning. Thank you. It is only my fourth time delivering a speech in public. One was a practice to a group of 20. One was a private event that was closed to the media. And then was my brother's wedding, where much advising had already occurred. So if I seem nervous, forgive me, because I am. I'm a little emotional too, so. My name is Monica Lewinsky. Though I have often been advised to change it, or asked why on earth I haven't. But there we are. I haven't. I am still Monica Lewinsky. You are an audience of young superachievers. On average, probably 15 years younger than me. Lucky you.
Oh my God.
And your youth is one of the reasons I wanted to talk to you today. It does mean, though, that some of you might be asking, who the hell is she, this Monica? And what is she doing here? Or maybe even, what is she doing in all of those rap lyrics? Thank you, Beyonce and Eminem, and Nicki Minaj, and Kid Cudi, Lil B and Lil Wayne, and of course, G-Eazy. But let's not forget Jeezy and all the rest. Thanks for laughing.
Oh my God.
So allow me to briefly recap my story.
This is like
16 years ago, fresh out of college, a 22-year-old intern in the White House, and more than averagely romantic, I fell in love with my boss in a 22-year-old sort of way. It happened. But my boss was the President of the United States. That probably happens less often. Now, I deeply regret it.
Gilbo, how did you get out of there?
Not the least of which
Gilbo.
was because people were hurt.
You popped out the top? Oh my God.
But back then in 1995,
Too smart.
we started an affair that lasted on and off for 2 years.
Why is she poor?
It was my everything.
This is a little bizarre.
That, I guess you could say, was the golden bubble part for me. The nice part. The nasty part was that it became public. Public with a vengeance. Thanks to the internet.
She just wants us all to be hush-hush. She wants to be back with Bill.
But a website most of us know today called the Drudge Report. Within 24 hours, I became a public figure, not just in the United States, but around the entire globe. As far as major news stories were concerned, this was the very first time
traditional media was usurped by the internet. In 1998, as we can imagine, there was